Hey there, my name is Alex, I am the Silver Mont, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at Kingdom Under Fire 2, an online hybrid of RTS and action. Disclaimer time. This is a sponsored video. Gameforge provided me with a copy of the game and paid for this sponsorship. I decided to take them up on their offer to cover the game because Kingdom Under Fire has been on my radar for a very long time. I've always thought it had an interesting premise. To my eyes, it was a mix of something like Warcraft 3 and Dynasty Warriors, both of which are games I enjoy a lot. So what is Kingdom Under Fire? A hybrid online game that is split between RTS and action elements. You control your character in a field of enemies, and at any single moment you can be fighting hundreds of them using your hotbar abilities. But at the same time, you'll be managing your troops. You can pull the camera out into an isometric view, much closer to the tactical views you'd see in things like Warcraft or Age of Empires. Here, you can move your troops, change their strategies, and activate their unique abilities, then instantly move back in to control your hero character. In addition to this, Kingdom Under Fire has online aspects almost akin to an MMORPG. There's no subscription model for the game, but you will find large cities full of other players, guilds you can join, PvP to take part in, and so on and so forth. If you've played any Korean online games in recent years, you'll have a good idea of what to expect here. Login bonuses, lots of quests, and extremely revealing outfits, sported by elves with absurdly long legs. These online aspects are more in the background than the foreground, however. The focus in Kingdom Under Fire is on the action and RTS elements, which have a nice amount of depth to them. Incidentally, I'll be making two more videos, one to go in depth on the action and RTS elements, and another for the online aspects of the game. This video is more of a general overview to give you a feel for the game, and then if you like what you see, you can watch the next two. Upon starting, you'll create your character, and you have a choice of several classes here. A gunslinger who combos a large blade with a firearm, a spellsword who, well, uses spells and a sword, a hulking berserker type who uses a greatsword, and a caster-focused character. And of course, your classic Elf Ranger. These characters can then be adjusted and tweaked visually before you hop into the game. The story premise is that you're fighting in a kingdom under fire, and after your castle is destroyed and the battle lost, you must help lead the remnants of your army and refugees from the kingdom to safety, fighting back against the monsters and bandits you encounter on the way. A little ways into the story, you'll be given the chance to join one of two factions. One that seeks to restore the status quo and protect the world, the other seeking to build a new world after dealing with the monster problem once and for all. Joining one of these two camps allows you to partake in PvP in the form of wargames, as well as joining a guild with other players. As far as this sort of game goes, it's about what you'd expect for the story. Nothing noteworthy, but perfectly serviceable. One thing worth noting though, is the poor quality of the localization. Subtitles frequently don't match what is being said, and written dialogue is very stiff and, well, bad. The comical writing won't get in the way of your enjoyment of what I believe the game is focused on, however, the action. And as a quick aside, if you've played a little game called Dynasty Warriors 3, you'll know what I'm talking about here. The comical voice acting, sometimes it only enhances the game. But whilst at first it seems rather overwhelming, all the gameplay being thrown at you here, having to deal with so many things at once, but the controls are surprisingly intuitive, and it felt very natural once I got into the flow of it all. Swapping between RTS and action modes is satisfying, and the combat on the ground is simple but flashy. There's rolls to avoid enemy attacks, blocks to block enemy attacks, abilities that combo into one another and have a basic build and spend rotation, at least for the spellsword class. Using ice abilities would generate ice runes. Using lightning abilities would generate lightning runes. One rune would get one attack, two runes would get a different attack, you get the idea. There's also plenty of chances to upgrade these skills as well as those of your troops. And I know this is something people will be wondering about. Is this a pay-to-win game? Well, I've looked through a lot of the game mechanics and items, cash shop, etc., and it doesn't look like it. Again, this is something I'll go into more detail in the video covering the online aspects, but in summary, real money is used only for cosmetic items, things like mounts and visual changes to your armor that do not impact your core stats. The game is currently offering 3 versions for purchase. The Standard Edition is £24, Emperor is £44, and War God is £89. Buying the War God version will get you some cosmetic items and a few boosts, which can also be acquired with in-game currency. So there's nothing pay to win that I could see, which I think is important, because pay to win isn't a consumer-friendly business model. My feelings on the game? It is enjoyable, but the online or MMO aspects feel unnecessary. The big battles are what I'm here for, so give me more of those. The translation and localization or general writing needs a lot of work. Good thing is, subtitles can be fixed, unvoiced quest text can be fixed in patches, and hopefully it will. Going forward, I hope they focus on what is fun in the game, the action and RTS combat. The game also needs a little more optimization. For example, it needs some anisotropic filtering because distant textures can look very blurry, especially at sheer angles. Frame rates were generally good, but they did drop quite a lot in the large cities when lots of players were there. But I think that about wraps it up for this overview. Of course, if you have any questions, leave them down below in the comments, and until next time, thanks so much for watching. In the next 2 videos I'll go in depth on the combat and RTS aspects, as well as the social and online aspects, including a more thorough look at the cash shop. Until then, take care, ciao.